Finding empowerment, embracing layers, yeah. We get to feel.
Hello, Melissa Crook here at the Field Podcast. Welcome to today's one-on-one time with me. We are going to talk about the calendar cleanse today. Now, this may sound a little bit like the Feel Reset that we talked about a few weeks ago, but I thought that it's the end of January. We've had some time to get into 2026. Sometimes we set some goals or some ideas or make a list of things we want to really get going in January to live 2026 more in alignment with ourselves and help our life feel less chaotic and more properly resourced and supported. But then life gets busy. The kids get sick. The coworker quits and you got to cover for them. An unexpected health issue with your parents comes up and you got to go travel. I mean, there's just lives. And you realize you got to the end of the month, it's like, oh my gosh, I haven't really gone into my calendar yet and done this kind of reset, this cleanse. There's still time. There's always time. But we can get you thinking about this before the end of January. So we're going to talk about the calendar cleanse today. This is also available as one of our online course opportunities. You can get this on an online course and really guide yourself through this for just $47. It's a great way, great investment in yourself if you need a little more support on this than what I'm going to give you today, and really helps you put these practices into place. But it's not too late, and it's never too late. You can do this anytime. But so many times at this beginning of the year, we get to the end of the month, we're like, oh, I didn't get it done. And we beat ourselves up and we're so hard on ourselves. And again, life likes and think we get distracted. And also remember, if this isn't a habit you have, it's one thing to acknowledge that you need to do something. And that's the first step. We can't do anything if we don't at first acknowledge something, some action needs to be taken. But also, then we have to put practices into place that act and get used to those practices. We have to practice those practices so they become natural to us. So they become something our systems and brains and nervous systems and ways of thinking are used to. It requires us maybe to unlearn some old habits, to relearn some new, healthier ones that are going to support us in this. And so even if you did, let's say you started the first week and then it's like, oh, I keep forgetting, this hopefully will help you remind yourself and help you create those practices and things that are going to help you keep in alignment with this. But remember, give yourself time and grace. It takes time. And that's where the online course is so nice, because once you have it for life. You spend that $47, you have it forever. So when you need a reminder, you can go back to it. So that's the great opportunity there. But hopefully this will just help you get back in alignment today. If you're like, no, that's not where I'm going to spend my energy and time right now. No, I just needed this reminder today. But always remember, you are worth the investment. So I'm hoping that one way or another, whether it's taking the information from this episode today, going back and revisiting our other Tuesday episodes this month for the other things we talked about and getting your life in calendar and alignment, or it is spending the time and resources with me to get it done or on the online course, whatever it is, know that you're worth the investment. And this is going to, you're never going to be sorry you've invested in yourself because of the outcomes of that, of feeling refreshed and in alignment and present and not exhausted and tattered and worn out and spread too thin. So that I'll get off my soapbox on that. But for the calendar cleanse, what does that look like? So the calendar is more than a schedule. It's a reflection of your priorities, your boundaries, your self-respect. But again, like most of us ambitious women, our days are filled with obligations so many times that don't truly serve us, because we just keep showing up for everybody all the time and don't really think about what we're saying yes or no to until at the other side of it, we're worn out, exhausted, and realized on the other side of it, oops, I've overcommitted there. This is going to help you to not do that. We get overbooked, we get stretched too thin, and then we're constantly squeezing ourselves into the margins. This calendar cleanse is your reset on that. It's a guided process that helps you strip away what no longer belongs. It helps you reclaim your time, and it helps you design your calendar in a way that actually supports you and who you want to be. And so it really helps you ask and identify, what do I value most right now? Write these things down. Journaling time, at night before bed, when you get up in the morning, on your lunch break. Look at your calendar. Spot the hidden no's disguised as a yes. Where I was like, I said yes to that, but every time I look at that, I want to throw up. That is one of those. What are we going to do about that? This allows you then to create space for nourishment and rest, and to align your priorities, and allows you to begin honoring yourself through your schedule. So how are you going to do this? Well, we're going to go back to, you guys hear me talk about this a lot, but I'm telling you, this is where the groundwork begins. First of all, you know you're valuable, you know you're worthy, and you know you get to choose. And you really believe that. And that might require some layers work. And if you need support on that, I can help you with that. Go to that contact form and let's get together. But let's go back to those 5 activities that nourish you, and those 5 words on how you want to feel the next 6 months, and describing yourself. Who am I? Not by my titles or my roles or my responsibilities, but who am I? I am content. I am excitable. I am cynical. I mean, anything, whoever you are, describe yourself. I'm curious. Those are and get back and look at those things, and then look at your calendar and what things honor those things in your calendar, and start asking yourself that question. And if it feels like, I'm not asking you to clear out and realign your whole calendar one time, pick that one thing, and it's something that might be a little easier to start with. It doesn't require maybe as challenging of a conversation, or it's a little easier to move out and navigate. What's that one thing that you're going to adjust unapologetically? You're just simply like, I realize that this just doesn't fit right now with all that I've got going on. Can you support me on this? Or I'm simply going to say no to this year. Or come back to me next year, but right now is not the right time. This isn't a good season for me. But pick that little thing, whether it's making cookies for all the holiday parties. I realize that's more than I've got on my calendar. I bit off too much with that. You can find somebody else to do it, or you can say, it's not going to be baked goods. I might be buying the goods, or simply, I'm just not going to be able to do that. Can you find somebody else? Whatever it is, but start with something simple. And start pulling things out one at a time, and practice not apologizing. Like, I'm so sorry, but I need to. It's like, hey, I realized I looked at my calendar this year. I realized I needed to shift some things. I realized that I overcommitted myself. So I need to talk to you about maybe something that I'd initially said yes to that I'm now realizing is really taxing time and energy from me, my family, my work responsibilities, wherever the case may be. Have that conversation that way, coming in confidently, coming in, and don't feel like you have to over explain beyond that. And then, so again, spotting those hidden no's that are disguised as a yes, and start with one of those at a time. And then don't feel like you have to fill that with something else. That's the other thing. We'll say, okay, what am I going to fill it with? Now, if you're going to fill it with anything, fill it with quiet time for you. So the time I would have spent making those cookies for those parties, I'm going to go sit outside quietly and put, for 10 to 15 to 20 to 30 minutes and just rest and refresh. I'm going to go on a walk. I'm going to go to coffee with a girlfriend. I'm going to do some yoga. Or I'm going to listen to my favorite music, whatever it is, or I'm just going to be quiet and make space to put more time into the other things that I really want to be putting space into. So don't just feel like you got to go fill it with something else. No, allow it to create the space to be putting your energy and time where you want it to be. Again, like I said, this creates space for nourishment, rest, and aligned priorities. And this allows you to begin honoring yourself through your schedule. And then for the takeaway today, I'm going to give you the same things that I gave you in the couple weeks ago in the reset. I want you to no yeses for at least 24 hours. When someone asks you to do something, you give a 24 minimum hour, maybe more. Maybe you need a week, maybe you need a month. Depends on the level of the activity, but give yourself that minimum of 24 hours before you decide whether to say yes or not, and really think about it and take everything into consideration. And then the other thing is, remember, whatever you're saying yes to, you're saying no to something else. Make sure that no isn't to you and what you need to show up fully resourced and feeling in alignment and looking at your calendar in a way that makes you feel like, oh, you're looking forward to that. Now, like I said a few weeks ago, there's always those things we have to do. We got to clean our bathrooms. We got to do the laundry. There's things that we have to do in our lives. There's no amount of yeses or nos that are going to clear that out. I'm talking about those things that we're asked to take on at work that we're afraid to disappoint someone. Those things we're asked to take on at school or with the family planning for a family reunion that we don't want to disappoint someone. And so we just say yes rather than like being really thoughtful about it and realizing that when we do things at half tank or quarter tank or empty tank, that's not really how we want people to experience us or anything we prepared for them. We want them to remember us as present and resource filled and content and really invested in whatever it is they're receiving from us. And so in order to do that, we have to know where our limits are. And we have to be willing to say no to the things that don't honor that. So this is what the calendar cleanse really helps you do. If hopefully these reminders today have been what you need. But if not, if you feel like you need a little more help and guidance, again, that calendar cleanse is available as our introductory online course. Go invest in that, and then you have it for life to go back to and revisit. Or if you feel like you need a little more accountability than that, I can work with you one-on-one. We can go to the field reset as well. But hopefully this has been supportive to you and has been a good reminder that there's always time to cleanse your calendar and get it in alignment with you, whether it's January 1st, January 27th, or December 5th, or any time in between. There's always time to do this. There's always time to invest in you. You're valuable, you're worthy, and you get to choose. Thanks so much for being with me today on the Field Podcast. I'll see you here next time. Take good care.